Let's check in with, where do we want to go? Let's try the 217 area code. Who's calling today from 217?
Hi, David.
Hi, who's this?
So my name is Aaron, 26-year-old truck driver. Sorry if you hear my truck in the background. I kind of have to. Hopefully you don't hear it too much. All right.
No problem.
So
What are those? Are those stick shifts or are they all automatic these days?
no, this truck's automatic and I hate it. Anyway,
Okay.
so I'm not necessarily coming to you today with a question so much as I would just like to throw maybe a different opinion at you that maybe you can think about. Because in my own personal view, and I've only been following politics for the last year and a half, 2 years, I noticed something that really does bother me about this country. Everybody has their own idea as to what they think the problem is with this country, but one of the things that I think is probably could be pinpointed as one of the biggest problems with this country is that America has become too complacent with this current form of politics. Let me explain what I mean. I noticed that you and Tom Hart both made videos explaining how Trump's legacy is going to outlast him. And my first thought is, okay, but why do they have to? Now, let me explain. I personally believe that being the president of the United States is still a job because at the end of the day, it is.
Sure.
And if someone is not performing up to standard at their job, in any other place of employment, they lose that job.
Right.
Whereas, for some reason, the president has gotten away with it. Now, what I'm saying is, I personally believe I personally don't think that having a president at all is a really decent way to run politics because if we acknowledge the fact that America as a whole is pretty much a huge social experiment, I would say that the way we've done politics pretty much since the beginning has not gone as well as we would like. Because if you think about it, how many presidents can you name over the course of this country's history that have actually done anything good, systemically good, for the American people?
So let me interrupt right there because here's the problem. We have a country that is now 340 million people. We have the office of the presidency, which is, you could argue, the highest office in the land. But a lot of what happens in our country is happening in the House and Senate. A lot of it is happening in governorships. A lot of it is happening in city councils, et cetera. So I actually think it's probably the wrong standard to apply to presidency. I mean, listen, I could answer your question as you asked it, and I could say, here's what Obama did that was good. Here's what Clinton did. But it's all arguably going to feel like, okay, you're pushing the ball forward in one area, but here's things that didn't go as well, whatever the case may be. That is actually the concern with Trump, which is aside from the tax plan or his decision about Syria, he will have coarsened what counts as political discourse, ruined alliances with other countries that have been built over decades or longer, changed the appreciation that we have for separation of powers by completely flouting it. Like, these are the big picture things that will outlast Trump that at a top-down perspective are going to be, they're going to take a long time to fix. And so when you say, name me any president that's done stuff that's good. Well, okay, that's only one part of what the president is, does, and represents. The other thing the president does is sets the sort of tone and political environment in which all of the lower legislators operate. And that's where Trump has done so much damage. So I just disagree with you about the framing of the question.
Well, that wasn't even my primary point. That was that was more to emphasize the idea that was more to prove my argument that our current system of politics isn't really all that good.
Well,
now,
there's I mean, listen, I agree with you
that,
there. I agree with you there. And I hate to cut you off, but I do have to run. I agree with you there. And there are so many ways in which that's the case, whether it's campaign finance, separation of powers, the judiciary, all these different ways. I just think that it's the wrong framing to enter it. Listen, I apologize that I've got to run, but we are short on time. I do want to hear from you again. Aaron the Trucker, we will put you in our system that way. That does it for today. Sorry for everybody I was not able to get to, but alas, we always have more people wanting to get on than the number that we have time for. We will take calls again.